be in one of the two trapdoor positions, and if he were to lose to Wes Newton, my goodness, he really would be staring into the darting abyss. The 16 times champion of the world. He played much better last week, scoring-wise, still a little bit frail on the doubles. And he will expect, and we will expect, Nigel, I think, that he will beat Wes Newton tonight.
He averaged 98.5 last week against Chisnell. The power. If he loses tonight, you do feel he would have no option but to win his last two games to survive. But he has clawed his way back in, and we recall back in 2008, he lost 3 of his opening 4 games in the Premier League and went on and, guess what, won the competition. Back in 2008, beat James Wade 16-8 in the final after that losing run early on. Can he do something similar here? 2 wins in the last 3 weeks for the power. Wes Newton, who's got a game in hand after missing Exeter with tonsillitis, he will face 2 games next week in Dublin. And how he would love to go into that double-header next week 99. With a win over Phil Taylor to his name.
Well, last week, Wes Newton may have got walloped 7-1 by Michael Van Gerwen, but statistically it was a personal best in the Premier League as he averaged 103 and change. It's the highest he's ever racked up as a 3-dart average in a year and a half in the competition. Still wasn't enough. That's the rarefied air he's breathing in at the moment as Taylor looks for a first maximum of the match and delivers.
Made it look easy there, didn't he? 15th 180 of the Premier League campaign.
85
for the power. Now, what a start it would be for him if he was going to take this out. This would hurt. There's Newton. Treble 19 would leave the bull here. Can't find the treble. Now, still not easy for Wes to take this out.
58. Wes required 94.
Choice of treble 18 or bull. Bull with the safety net. Well, he went for bull and missed it. 2 double tops, perhaps? That's what he looked at.
54. Failure required 68.
For a breaker throw. What a start this would be for Taylor. Gets the treble 20, needs the double 4 now. Couple of darts at this. Double 2. Big shot early in the match, gets it. Phil Taylor's off and running, it's a breaker throw as well. He leads here. He can hold his throw here. A 2-leg cushion early on. This is much more like the power we know.
Deep breath from Phil Taylor. Wayne Marden has made the point repeatedly in recent weeks that absolutely key for Phil Taylor to start well. The times he's got behind, the confidence has become brittle and the finishing's become flaky. When he's got in front, he's looked a lot stronger. And important, I think, that his doubling 93. Is reliable tonight. Last week, just 7 out of 29 on the checkout. Nowhere near what we expect. Got that double at the second time of asking there, and that was important. Make no mistake, if Phil Taylor is not in the bottom 2 after 9 weeks, the other 7 players who are in the competition with him in the remaining weeks of this season will still be worried that Taylor could start muscling his way back into things.
Yeah, it's still pretty tight, very congested in the Premier League, because the first target for him now is to avoid the bottom 2 and then reel in the top 4. And the difference here between this type of performance and the first 3 weeks of this Premier League, he is managing to claw out 1 treble with every visit in the early stages of this game. 99. That wasn't happening in the first 3 weeks of this Premier League for him. Even if he falls low with a treble, he finds it the second or third dart.
96.
And from here, Phil Taylor should go 2-0 up.
123.
Outer ball then for tops. This would be for a 14-dart leg if he can get it done in 2. Which he can now. Top of the shop. For the man who's been at the top of the rankings for most of his darting career. Not at the moment though. 9th in the Premier League and 2nd in the world rankings behind MVG.
97.
Wes needed that last treble, didn't he? He's under pressure already from the great man here. Phil hitting 103.5, and there he goes with the trouble with the first dart.
99.
It is much more like it from the power. Wes really needs to get a leg on the board.
Well, the fact that he's down ninth in the table, you can sit there and think, well, Phil Taylor must have been throwing a load of old rubbish for 6 weeks, but his lowest average in any match is 98.27. That's the worst he's played.
80.
And his tournament average is up with the very best. It's in 3 figures still.
And you know as well as I do, Rod, that it's a new challenge for the power when he's in this type of position. People write him off at their peril. Phil just grits his teeth and gets on with it. This is a big game for Wes Newton as well. He doesn't want to be heading into the 2 games that he'll play in Dublin with just 5 points to his name. Phil wins this, he'll go above Wes Newton as well as Dave Chisnall.
59.
Only 59 now. An opportunity now for the power to put serious pressure on Wes Newton here.
Yeah, Newton was relegated last year. 5 points not enough to keep him afloat. He finished 9th.
97. Measured 108.
108, not a must. Really needs it. Tops. Super finish from Wesley Newton. And the Fleetwood Flyer is on the ball.
Big moment for Wes Newton, holds and stays in the game, because at 3-0 the power would be ominous there. That's a magnificent 108 finish from Wesley Newton.
93.
That was a big moment, full credit to him. Power doing his job, averaging 102.82 right now.
59.
As Rod mentioned a few moments ago, the tournament overall for a man in the bottom 2, his tournament average is 100 now. Not bad for someone in the bottom 2 of the Premier League. Can he get a second 180?
140.
That'll do him.
Newton's won a couple of games against Lewis and Van Barneveld, a draw with Thornton in his 2 defeats against Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Wright, who occupy the top 2 spots in the table, so no disgrace in that. And there he is, Newton, on 5 points, 1 above the power at the moment. But any 2 of those 5 players, and you can throw Thornton into it as well, who's got half a dozen points. 2 from 6. Will disappear through the trapdoor.
Every week it just seems to tighten up. Fascinating stuff, this Premier League. Went for the treble and got it, beautifully done.
94.
Oh, magnificent from Taylor. He'll come back for tops for 3-1. Now Wes just looking to put a little bit of pressure on Taylor.
45.
Nicely done from Newton. But will he be back, or will Taylor take this for a 3-1 lead now?
That's not ideal, the way Taylor's darts go in, but he has found space on the left-hand side of the bed. Brilliant second dart from Phil Taylor, and he goes 3-1 up.
Oh, look at this from Newton in response. Beautifully done! First 180 in the game for Wes Newton. Now, can the power respond? Plenty of room for another couple of those. How about this? What a response! What a response from Phil Taylor! Wes keeping up the big scores here.
100.
But Taylor looks as though he's enjoying himself. Body language seems pretty relaxed, focused. 4 perfect darts. Make that 5. Room for another. It's on.
Raymond Van Barneveld, the 9-dart king in the Premier League, with a couple. Phil Taylor's had one also. Up in Scotland against Kevin Painter.
77. Very well, 141.
world record crowd roaring him on.
Now the focus is breaking Newton's throw. Told you he was enjoying it, didn't I? Can he set it up here now to break Newton's throw and go 4-1 up? Absolutely vital in the context of this season. Premier League campaign. Another one of those would leave double 12. Double 12 for a 1-4-4 for Newton. Oh! Here comes the power now.
77.
This would hurt Wes Newton. This for a 4-1 lead.
'18 leaves tops. Brilliant. Well, this is the man who has won the World Championship 16 times. This is not the pale shadow of the power that we saw in the first few weeks. This is Phil Taylor averaging 108. The highest this season in the Premier League, 109 and bits from Michael van Gerwen in the 7-0 whitewash of Phil Taylor in the first round.
99.
I tell you what, he'd love to win this game and take that little minor honour off Van Gerwen tonight.
Not only 16 World Championships, but 6 Premier League titles as well for the power. There's been inquests galore over the opening weeks of the Premier League. Wherever you go, you talk about darts. What has happened to Phil Taylor? Now,
100.
I think it's safe to say he is back. 107.5 average, 4-1 lead.
Well, a few weeks ago, he said to Dave Clark, I will put it right, trust me. Trust Taylor. And he is delivering tonight. Wes Newton must be thinking that he's been caught in a hurricane again. Last weekend he averaged 103 and got hammered by Michael van Gerwen 7-1, and now playing Phil Taylor on the wrong end of a toweling again. Averaging 104 this time. Ridiculous.
We know how cruel the Premier League can be, Rod, don't we? Relentless. Especially when you're playing this guy in the form that he is. He'll switch to tens. Everything is going Taylor's way right now. Another heavy defeat for Wes Newton, and his legs difference will start to become a concern for him as well.
95. Failure 32.
-6 as it stands at 4-1 down. Will it be 5-1 with double 16? Yes. Taylor's finishing, you know, 71% at the double tonight. Immaculate from the power. One more leg and he will not lose this game.
5 out of 7 tonight for Phil Taylor, 7 out of 29 last week.
100.
I will put it right, trust me. And Phil Taylor is playing some terrific stuff tonight. Could he possibly haul his way all the way up into the top 4 of the remaining weeks and go on to win this again? And last year's World Championship, when he beat Van Gerwen in the final, had to be the greatest triumph of them all for Phil Taylor. I mean, this would be even more remarkable.
Astonishing averages, 110.5 for the power. His legs difference is getting better all the time as well. He's down to -6 now. Chisnell's at -5.
137.
Gary Anderson's at -5. So his position is improving all the time. Newton needs a treble here.
57.
Phil Taylor started tonight at 4-1, second favourite to win the Premier League outright this year. Those odds will not be available at close of business tonight. And you can trust me on that one.
98.
Not bad odds for a bloke who was in the relegation scrap as well, and still is, of course. Let's not take everything for granted on Taylor's behalf. He knows he's still got work to do.
26.
Now, if he takes this out, he's assured of at least a point. He can go 19. Up the board for treble 20, and he gets it now. Huge pressure on Wes Newton here. He's taken out a 108 already, he needs a 104. tops he needs for a 104 finish.
64.
Great effort,
Failure
but
mark 28.
Taylor now for 6-1 and another break.
Double 14.
Gives him the second leg.
In he goes.
Taylor.
Wes Newton has just a solitary leg to his name, just as he had
Game on.
last time out against MVG, and Phil Taylor has the darts to complete this demolition job.
And to go out of the bottom two. Well, gets in trouble with the last dart. That's as things stand. Taylor out of the bottom two for the first time. 5 points, and again, making that point about the legs difference is relevant there, Ron.
-39.
-8 now for Newton. Taylor -5, much, much better. And he'd love to seal the deal with this leg, wouldn't he?
Would he ever?
180.
Wes Newton, let's point out and remind ourselves he does have a game in hand. He didn't play that week because of the
81.
tonsillitis. He plays twice next week, so he has played a game fewer. Well, Phil Taylor here, if he can get rid of this 2-3-6 in a couple of visits, will post a season's
98.
best for the Premier League in terms of average.
111.24 as it stands. All the questions have been asked of Taylor. He's answering them
119.
emphatically.
Failure 138.
Fancy him for a 7-1 from here, don't you? Oh, treble 18 would leave double 12. Double 12 for a 7-1 win.
114.
Couldn't have got that much closer, could he?
Well, he knows he's going to get another 3 at it because Newton can't go out. 111, that is a season's best. Van Gerwen 109.5 against Taylor in week 1.
130. Failure 124.
Goes here in the next couple of darts, he will post that season's best mark, the power. Double 12.
No score.
Can't close the door on Wes Newton.
32.
Wes Newton to break back. Double 16. Oh. Double 4, last chance.
28. Failure
Here we go.
24.
Taylor can't believe it. That's just a little bit of fortune that he's not had either earlier on in the tournament. This for a 7-1 win. Now, how much can he see of the double 12? Plenty. And Phil Taylor wins his 3rd Premier League game in 4 weeks. He's well on target to survive the relegation trapdoor. There's been a scare or two along the way, but an average of 106.9 and a convincing 7-1 victory over Wes Newton don't write Taylor off for the Premier League title.